But we thought we'd open the show with Russell Westbrook, who is on the trade block. Top 20 player in the league, Matt, is that accurate? I didn't call him a top 10 guy yesterday with Coutinho Mobley, and the listeners kind of got angry at me.
Yeah, I would say a little higher than top 20. I'd probably say top 15 maybe.
Top 15,
yeah,
okay.
I think so.
So Russell Westbrook, a top 15 player who turned 30, can't shoot, has had some knee issues, couple surgeries in his career, and all of a sudden he's sitting on the market, and this could be a long wait, Matt. You know how in the NFL draft there's that green room and there's guys sitting there waiting, right, and some end up out of the lottery, late first round, second round. I don't know. I feel like Russell Westbrook could be waiting a while here. We're hearing a lot of smoke about the Miami Heat. There's no way they're giving up Justice Winslow and the other young guy they got from Kentucky, Bam Adebayo. They can't give those guys up for Westbrook, can they?
It's interesting. You just never know. I mean, what is the team looking for? Is the team looking to be competitive and bring some excitement to the organization? Are they looking to win a championship? The knock on Russ has been you can't win big with him. So I think it depends on what teams are looking for.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, they changed the coach. Okay, Scott Brooks did a good job. Bounced him for Billy Donovan. They changed the stars, right? They lose Kevin Durant. Now they've lost Paul George. They changed the role players. Go up and down that list. Reggie Jackson, he feuded with Russell Westbrook. Whatever you think of Reggie Jackson, him and Westbrook did not get along. Right. Serge Ibaka beefed with Westbrook. They famously had some issues there. They've changed everything, and there's been one constant for Russell Westbrook's 10, 11 years in OKC, and it's the point guard. Mm-hmm. I don't see how he's a winning player. The little analogy I came up with, right? So you're climbing a mountaintop, and you could see the top. Oh, man, you got Harden, you got Kevin Durant. They were in the finals against LeBron's Heat. They could see the top. And then inexplicably, they trade James Harden. They come down. Okay, we can't get to the top this way. We got to come down a little, go around. Then with Kevin Durant, they're up 3-1 on the Warriors. They can see the top of that mountain, Matt. No, we still can't get there, guys. Durant leaves. All right, we got to come back down. Get Paul George. All right. Oh, we can see it. We got another star. Oh, Paul George wants out. Okay. It's at the point now, Matt, where you're not climbing that mountain. You've got to come to the bottom and start over. You gotta. Hey, listen. Sometimes in life,
go up a different mountain.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, listen. You whether it's life, work, NBA, NFL, sometimes it just doesn't work.
Right.
At this point in his career, it feels like Russell Westbrook needs a reality check. Hey, maybe I got to play off the ball. Maybe I can't be. What was he? Number 2 in touches in the NBA. Number 3 in time of possession. And they're not getting out of the first round. I don't want to come across as a Westbrook basher. I know that automatically means I am bashing him. But Matt, how does he reinvent himself here to make himself attractive to a team and get out of the first round?
I think the same thing that makes Russell great is what also hurts him. The way he approaches the game, his passion, his tenacity, the energy in which he plays at every single night. He's someone that I would pay to see play because he plays the right way every single night. With that said, it's been a tough go for him. I don't personally know Russ, never played with Russ. We went to UCLA and we see each other in the summertime, but a lot of guys have had issues with him, and he's been the one consistent factor, as you just mentioned, that Oklahoma City has, for the last 10, 11 years, has been their centerpiece. Even though they've had other big pieces, he's been the constant. So, I mean, this, like I said, first ballot Hall of Famer, someone that will be talked about in the history of the game for the history of the game. Mm-hmm. But it's always been that but. So what do you do? I think change is good sometimes. I think OKC has definitely ran its course. But like I mentioned earlier, what are you looking for as a team that is a suitor, in the market for Russell Westbrook? Are you looking to be, are you Detroit? Are you looking to pair him up with Blake Griffin and bring some excitement back to your fan base in that new arena and try to make the playoffs? Or are you, a Houston team it's talked about, who I feel is, they've just ran into a dynasty the last few years. So to me, you don't need to mix up too much stuff in Houston. You just got to come out and play well this year. And then Miami, does it work with him and Jimmy Butler, two guys that definitely need the ball? So I definitely think, like you said, he needs to take a look in the mirror and figure out what route he's going to take from now on, because the route he's taken, although has produced a lot of amazing statistical dividends. It hasn't brought anything else besides that.
Now, Matt Barnes, you've played with, and the list is incredible. You played with late career Steve Nash. You played with Kobe, Iverson, when he averaged 33 a game. You played with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Chris Paul. You've seen a lot of great players. Anytime Russell Westbrook's name gets brought up, all it is, well, triple-double. I mean, come on, 3 years in a row. Who could do that? He's an all-time great. What's the difference, Matt, when you're on the court, you're playing and watching, between a winning player and a guy who is an awesome individual talent who's getting his and not winning anything?
Well, I've played with, I played with Allen Iverson, and people called him a ball hog or whatever. But, when we were there, we went to the playoffs. Before I got there, they went to the finals.
Yeah.
But that was about it, and I kind of feel this could possibly be a similar comparison, guys that play their absolute heart out. But ball-dominant, scoring first point guards haven't necessarily had a track record of success as far as winning titles in the league, And then on the flip side, I've been able to play with a Chris Paul, who is a pass-first guy, a Steve Nash, who's a pass-first guy, but we weren't able to win championships with them either. So it's really a thin line between, being an amazing point guard, a sharing point guard, or a scoring point guard, but, making it all the way and winning a championship. So it's a really tough way to
How crazy is it? I mean, sometimes you forget Allen Iverson by himself got to the finals.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Dikembe Mutombo, I think, was a center on that team. But they had Eric Snow on that team.
Snow, Aaron
McKee. I mean, folks, Russell Westbrook can't get out of the first round with Paul George. Iverson took a team to the finals, and they got one off the Lakers, right? They got game one, and then the gentleman's sweep.
History, right?
So, who is the comp for Westbrook? I mean, I don't think he's Iverson. I'm sorry.
No, I think he's a different player than Iverson. We've never really seen anything like Westbrook. You know what I mean? As far as his athleticism, his tenacity, his ability to do everything on the floor from the point guard position. Like I said, he's someone who plays the game the right way from a standpoint of he gives his absolute maximum effort every time he's on the floor. You'll never say he's not playing hard.
Right.
And that's one thing I definitely love about him, because you can't say that about everyone. But then again, like I said, the knock has consistently been guys butt heads with him and you can't win. So, you lose James early, and that's definitely not his fault. I think that's more management, and James Harden would have been the James Harden he is if he stayed there. But then you start, when you start losing other stars such as Kevin Durant, and there's, always been whispers that they butted heads. And then, Paul George chose to go to KC, which surprised a lot of people. And then he chose to stay, and it was interesting. And then, this summer he chooses to demand a trade and get out of there. So I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I don't like speaking on situations I don't know a lot about. But, usually when there's smoke, there's a fire.
Now, you said, Westbrook, you played in some of these summer pickup games with him at UCLA.
Yeah.
Is he the same in the NBA that he is in these pickup games? Is he getting more people involved? Do guys want to play with him?
I mean, in the summer, I don't think you look at it like, do guys want to? I mean, summer you get teams and go, but he's a monster out there, unguardable.
You ever have to check him or no?
Yeah, I have, and it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's definitely not an easy feat. But summertime's different. Everyone's going out of. Guys play different in the summer than they do in the regular season because, most role players play their role. And in the summertime, you get to see a little bit more guys' games. And, Russ is similar to the way he plays during the regular season. He just plays at a high pace and makes a lot of plays, and his teams usually win in the summertime.
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder. You mentioned Paul George and the situation there. I mean, Matt, does Russ have beef with Paul George after how it went down? Remember, Paul George put on Instagram, hey, we're smoking cigars. We got unfinished business. I'm staying at OKC a year ago.
Right.
And now, like a thief in the night, he calls up and says, I'm out. I need to get up out of here. I'm demanding a trade. Listen, Westbrook went after Durant with this whole cupcake stuff on social media. I mean, do you think he's going to have beef here with Paul George? I mean, I think Paul George is getting a huge pass, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'd be a good look if there was a real confrontation between him and Paul, because the constant has been him having a confrontation with somebody. You know what I mean? So maybe this is just a situation where Paul realized, like, okay, Kawhi's calling. I'd much rather be in LA regardless of Oklahoma City.
Wait, he could have been in LA with LeBron.
It didn't. It just didn't feel right with him. Whatever the situation was, it didn't feel right. But this felt different. To me, they're, probably the number one contender next year from a standpoint of the Clippers had an amazing cast last year of guys who bought in. No real not superstar driven, just a bunch of solid players, and then you add two of the best selfless superstars that play two ways of basketball into that lineup, and you're a championship contender. So everything, the cards just played out the right way this year, and he made a move.
I got a great Lakers-Clippers topic in a sec, but something you just said about OKC got me thinking. Okay, you got kids, right?
Yeah.
So I got two little kids, and when my parents are in town and my wife's parents, they kind of, in a way, enable my little kids, by kind of giving them the run of the place. You know how that works.
Right.
Has OKC enabled Russell Westbrook all these years? Remember, he has blown up at the media. If he doesn't want to do interviews, he'll take an hour shower. The media has to stay there. As we said, they've shuttled role players in and out. They've moved on from coaches, stars. I mean, does OKC shoulder some of the blame for enabling Russ? Or, hey, it's small market OKC. We got to keep our guy. If we lose him, we become the Memphis Grizzlies or something.
I think you touched on. I think it's two-sided from a standpoint of it's OKC. Who's really going to come here? I don't think anyone could believe it when Paul George picked Oklahoma City. You know what I mean? So that was a flat strike of a pan. A real luck situation. But outside that, through the draft, they've had to build their team. So I think that the team has definitely enabled them. But I think that's what franchises do to their star. You know what I mean? So I think it was a double-edged sword from a standpoint of, we're probably not going to get any huge free agents, so we got to take care of our guys. They picked Russ from the outside looking in over Harden and over Durant. And then you hear rumbles of, former guys that were there saying that, they kind of let Russ do what Russ wanted to do. So it's just a tough situation, but I definitely think that the situation in Oklahoma City has ran its course for the organization. So they're looking to start over, and Russ is looking to get a fresh start. And you never know, a fresh start in a new city, him being an older player and realizing, okay, my way hasn't worked. I put up amazing numbers, but we haven't won. Do I want to win, or do I want to continue to put up amazing numbers?
Yeah, is he going to be up for kind of reinvention? I talked about on my Saturday morning radio show on Fox about reinvention and Madonna. Obviously, the 80s pop star, such a huge deal, and then just decides, I'm going to do movies. I'm going to do Evita. And I don't care what you think. You're going to be upset that I'm doing this movie. Oh, you know what? Now I'm going to pivot and I'm going to do this Ray of Light album. And Madonna kind of shifted and went to techno, kind of that upbeat 90s. And she kept reinventing herself. And she's one of the greatest, longest tenured stars in music. And I just wonder if he can do that as a point guard. And now listen, we're seeing LeBron, who Chris Haynes from FS1 and Yahoo reported this week that LeBron is going to try to reinvent himself as a point guard. He's going to be the starting point guard for the Lakers. Now,
I don't really see how that's reinventing himself. Well, he's always played point guard, but now it's just actually he's the title.
It's weird because he's always led his team in assists, right? Mm-hmm. But he's always had a Mario Chalmers bringing the ball up. He's had a Kyrie Irving in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. But now it's allegedly he's going to be the starting point guard. Personally, I don't know that LeBron, who last year talked about taking a back seat a little bit, right? He was 33 at the time. I'm gonna step back a little. We need to get guys who can create. That was a massive failure. Lance Stevenson and those type of players. You're just talking about LeBron with the ball in his hands more now. And I just watching this Russell Westbrook thing, have Russ play off the ball. I would have LeBron off the ball. You think this is going to work for the Lakers? I think
so. I think he's going to kind of be more in that Magic Johnson facilitation role. Someone that can, with me, LeBron he's going to be able to pick and choose his spots now. He's not going to have to consistently be the bull the whole entire time, the one person going downhill. I think with him playing point, he'll be able to distribute. Obviously a great passer, that goes without saying. But allowing everyone else to get themselves going, make sure everyone else is, in the right spots and getting the shots they need to stay warm, and then he'll be able to pick and choose his spots. So I'm interested to see what this looks like from a standpoint of, okay, defensively, who's going to guard who now? Because I don't think he's in the position to guard point guards anymore.
No.
Do you? Yeah. Is Danny Green going to guard the point guard? Do you start Avery Bradley? What does that look like? But like I said, I like the move. to me, for them saying to reinvent himself, he's always played since he's been here. He's been in the league. He's been the primary ball handler on his team, whether that point guard position is over his name or not. So I don't think this is really a reinventing itself, but it's just a different way to look at it now. And they're probably gonna have a really big, strong lineup, but it'll be fun to see. I think
it's weird. The league has kind of shifted right to positionless basketball. There isn't a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Brad Stevens, I think, is the guy who said, hey, listen, we have guards, we have wings, and we have bigs. Like, that's basically what it is. I just wonder if the Lakers are a little deficient on the wings. Their wings right now appear to be LeBron, Jared Dudley, and Kuzma. I don't know if KCP and Danny Green to me seem like kind of guards, like,
yeah.
I don't know if now, but then you look at the wings, Matt, and it's basically the Clippers are only the only team that you really have to worry about with Paul George, Kawhi, even Mo Harkless, I think, and Rodney Magruder, or the guy they picked up from Miami. He's a guy that can load manage and help Kawhi Leonard. But it is weird that you mentioned the bigs because the Lakers are loaded at center. JaVale, Boogie, Anthony Davis, who doesn't want to be center, and the Clippers have nothing at center. They got Zubac, and I don't even know who they're Montrezl Harrell, who's really a 4. What's your early thoughts on Lakers versus Clippers? Who the better team is right now, and then who you think will be in better shape? Obviously, health pending.
I think obviously on paper things are always different than the way they actually work out. To me, as I mentioned earlier, the Clippers are a team who bought into what Doc was preaching and had a hell of a season last year, and really battled the Warriors and tested the Warriors in the first round and had a lot of people talking. And for Kawhi to choose the Clippers over the Lakers, I mean, who does who's done that? But he's always been different and marched to the beat of his own drum, and I respect that about him. But you add 2 selfless superstars and 2 of the best two-way players in the game to a team who's already bought in, that doesn't have an ego, that didn't have any superstars before, and it looks like a great fit to me. So I think early on I look at chemistry, and the Clippers already had that chemistry. And then you think about the Lakers, they just had 3 players about a month ago, so they completely
maybe a week ago.
Right, they completely built a whole new team, and although it looks great on paper, you have to see how this plays out with who's starting, who's coming off the bench, what's everyone's role. I think it's a little less stressful with the Clippers, and plus the Clippers have a better coach. So right now, as we stand, I feel like the Clippers are in a better position, but if the Lakers can pull their team together and gel and have chemistry, they're going to be a very dangerous team as well.